Hello world, you're watching 80s Music Twin Ranked, and I'm gonna first answer Chris's question from the last video. The answer is no.
Did they take Green River for the band? No, but they did see a sign.
They did see a sign.
They were,
yes.
what was their band
Was
name?
it
Their band's name was Mississippi, I think, or something
Yes,
like that.
yes, I think so.
And they were driving and they saw a sign. They said that'd be a good title song. And they're like, what
See,
about Little River Band?
Was that an actual river or a city called that?
I don't think it was a city. Maybe it was a river.
But, I mean,
no, because
there are signs
yeah.
for rivers
Yeah.
out there.
So they're going. There was a sign for a place called Little River, and they
Yes.
said,
And obviously it wouldn't be Green River for the big reason they're from Australia. Right? So, I don't know if they're not, are they the most popular band in Australia
I don't know.
ever? I didn't look that up.
They said AC/DC at one point.
Well, no, I'm talking about Australian.
Okay.
Is AC/DC Australian?
I thought they were.
Coming from
Yeah, I
Australia.
thought they were.
Okay, then they are. Yeah, you might be right. I can't remember that far back. Now, what's interesting is one of the members of Little River Band, who I did mention this, who we're talking about. Little River Band played in a band before this one called Zoot.
With Boz Scaggs.
No,
Oh,
that was Steve Miller Band.
no, but there
Rick
was.
Springfield.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
No, but there was I also read Boz Scaggs in the history. of
They
some-
toured with him.
Okay.
That's what they were talking about there. Would have been neat to have Boss Gangs in there, but he's definitely not Australian. Now, let's go ahead and get movies out of the way. There's not many movies, but the funny thing is Will Ferrell's character.
Right, like Little River Band. Mark Wahlberg threw the disc out the window, and he says, "I got 6 discs in here, placing them
Right.
again."
But
The funny part, first of all, they're playing Reminiscence.
yes,
But the funny part is the movie is called
The Other
Guys, and they have a song called The Other Guy.
well, that's why
Right.
they put it.
Oh,
in.
okay, yeah.
They didn't randomly do that.
Yeah.
They said, let's call our movie The Other Guys
Yeah.
and use Little River Band.
But it's just funny that they didn't play that song.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
That would have been similar to James Bond. They played
Yeah.
James Bond theme and he recognized
Yeah,
it.
Octopus, he wouldn't need the flute, right?
Okay, they had a song in Karate Kid 3. You remember that?
No, I don't.
Me neither. Okay, I don't think there was anything else I noticed. The lead guy, Glenn Shirok, the singer,
Yeah.
he was in a TV series for like 13 episodes.
What was it called?
I can't remember.
Okay.
It was an insignificant show. I bet it wasn't even an American TV show.
Okay.
So, because, we're not the only ones who have TV shows made.
Yeah, and the band members were just, at the end, they were just putting up with him and they just couldn't stand him.
Which is
And,
funny.
yeah, so he left the band and they got John Farnham.
After I watched the video, I wouldn't have thought this just listening to songs on the radio, but after watching the videos with him in it first,
Right.
I'm like, he is their face. They focused on him
Yeah.
in the videos. And again, they didn't really have anything MTV.
No, they were
worthy.
good. They were good. Get to the chorus, a lot of harmonizing.
They remind me of Crosby, Stills.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
Yes. But he left. Guess who replaced him? Bet you didn't know this until you reviewed it. John Farnham. I did not know that.
Yeah, I said that.
You said that
I just
already?
said it a minute ago.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, so
See, I don't listen.
yeah,
But
we don't listen to each other. Like last video, we said centerfold instead of center field. How many times?
And we didn't catch each other
Neither one of us caught it.
because we don't listen. We obviously don't listen to ourselves either. But yeah, John Farnham. When I actually have "You're the Voice" in my honorable mentions for the decade's best songs. Okay.
And that was on his first album when he was solo.
And now think about that. Last week we did John Fogerty. Center Field. Didn't even crack the top 40, right?
Right.
You know how high, far away You're the Voice was? 86.
Okay.
That's its highest ranking. Which is kind of cool because it played in 1986. So that's cool. But I remember that video. I remember liking that video when
Yeah.
it first came out.
And
It played
Heart did a cover of
and
it.
I don't remember their version.
Yeah, I don't either.
And supposedly their version is better, but their version never even made the Billboard chart. All right. So I just mentioned You're the Voice. You want to know something neat about You're the Voice? 2 members in the video that play in the video. It's not his band, but he was calling people for favors. The keyboardist and the drummer were from the band Pseudo Echo,
Okay.
who, if you remember, played Funky Town, the remake for what was the movie? Revenge of the Nerds, Part 2, which was one of my favorites.
Right, for
on our
the-
one-hit
yeah,
wonder
yeah.
list.
Back in Paradise.
Yes. Now, I'll tell you what. I do remember when I hear that song over and over. I thought this when this was happening, when COVID happened, and you listen to the lyrics to that song. I thought that's the perfect song fighting against the lockdowns that the government was trying to put. And Australia actually did that. The people tried to play his song as fight the government. John Farnham did not like that. Now, whether he would agreed with that it should be used for that, he just didn't like their non-permission using the song.
Right, yeah. That's the whole deal with everybody. Hey, you used my phone.
Right.
You used my song.
Money.
Right.
Trump uses his songs and like, you can't use that. But it's not because he didn't ask, it's because he didn't like Trump.
Yeah.
Except for the Village People. Because they did get lots of money because that became his song. All right. Okay, so since I mentioned John Farnham, you wouldn't happen to know the top 3 albums ever in Australia, since we're talking about Australia.
I would not.
Now, I've
One of
already...
them was probably AC/DC because you had mentioned.
You know what? I said that, and I looked at the top, and it's not.
Okay.
I thought it was the second one, but as I read, unless it's shifted month by month. So the top album is Bad Outta Hell by Meatloaf. I thought it was AC/DC at number 2, but it's not. It's Come On Over by Shania Twain. And then following that is John Farnham's album with You're the Voice, Whispering Jack. He might be, I think he's considered the greatest solo act in Australian history. He's had a number 1 album 5 decades in a row. Now, I don't know if it's this decade, starting with the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the first thousands. So he's famous over there, and over here, we don't care.
And just like Robbie Williams.
But I'll tell you what, he made a very good move of getting out of the Little River Band.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't fit, and You're the Voice came out the year he left.
Right.
So, smart move on his part. All right, with that, let's get to our
Top 10.
All right, so both of us have an honorable mention. Yours comes from the song right after they actually gained a hit on the charts.
Okay.
So I think their first hit was Help Is. I thought
Help is on the way.
I thought it was Help Is on the Way. You know what it's called? Help Is on Its Way,
Oh.
which doesn't make.
Well, I think they say help is on the way, I think, in the lyrics.
No, I listened to the song. It's Help It's on Its Way.
Okay.
So, help is a person. It's on its way. Should be help is on the way. I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't change the how many beats you
Right.
need. But the song came out right after that. It's called Happy Anniversary. That's your honorable mention. Mine would be Cool Change, which I remember on the radio You said you don't.
Yeah.
But
and
it is a slower one.
I knew it was probably going to be an honorable mention for you.
Yes.
You probably had it way up there, and I had it as my last, I think. Least favorite.
I had it at 9.
I think I had it at
had yours at
the
10.
lowest. Oh, did
You had happy anniversary. Oh, you mean the overall?
Yeah.
No, probably not. Probably one of the very first songs before Help Is on the Way. Those were our worst 2 songs because there were 2 songs that came out prior to those. All right, number 10 is a one nobody's gonna remember. Even I didn't know what the heck, but it was pretty good sound to me. Probably the last Little River Band hit, Billboard charting. You're Driving Me Out of My Mind. And you have this at 12. This was the one you didn't have in the top 10. I have it at 8 though, and it's on the album called The Net, which is a picture of a bird trapped in a net.
That title is just way too long.
What? Oh, The Net?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
that's 6 letters.
No. The song.
I'm
Song
kidding.
title.
You're Driving Me Out of My Mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Sammy Hagar, he heard
Your
it. And he's
love
like,
is driving.
I'm just gonna say you're driving me crazy. It's just 3 words.
That's right. Don't they actually mean the same thing?
Yeah.
Pretty much. All right, next one. But it's a good beat, so I had it on my top 10. Number 9, which their first hit that I did not include in my top 10. I have it at 11, which is why I put Cold Change ahead of this. You have it at 6, and that's Help Is on Its Way from that Cocktail album. I don't want to pronounce it.
I like the instruments behind it. We start with,
Hey, go! Help Is on the Way! Doodly! Yeah, it's... I think that's why I don't like it. It might be too country-ish to me. So, but again, that was their first hit. They hadn't actually been known up until that point. Matter of fact, I don't think they're Australian. They're more famous here than in Australia, which that happens to bands for some reason, or at least at first they were. Once America caught on, suddenly they were really good over there. Okay, that's number 9. Number 8, coming from the greatest hits, and it's funny. When John Farnham replaced Glenn Sharrock, it was on the Greatest Hits album. It's The Other Guy, and that's where it first appeared, was on the Greatest Hits. And we know, you put out a Greatest Hits, 1 or 2 songs are new.
Yeah.
Just like REO Speedwagon did that with Here With Me, so The Other Guy. And I think it's their 3rd highest ranking song. Reminiscing is their first, actually 4, number 4. I forget what the other 2 are, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is The Other Guy, chart-wise. I have this at 5. You have it at 9.
Yeah, this message. I know I thought this when I was a teenager. When you see a guy dating a girl, and you're thinking to yourself, you're always like, I treat her much better than he did. That's kind of message. And there's songs like that, right?
Right.
Michael Stanley Band has He Can Love You Like I Love You. Yeah, those types of messages, and I think Shawn Mendes has a song like that too. Yeah, but she loves him. She doesn't even know you. So.
Well, actually, this one, The Other Guy, she did know him because the first line is...
I know. I'm just saying my experience.
He won't talk to our kids. Right. So it's a divorce song. Okay, anyways.
Well, and also, when you get older and you know yourself, you if you're honest, you're like, no, he actually might treat you better.
Yeah, you think about it.
Yeah, I'm a crappy person.
I didn't treat her very good. Anyways, okay, number 8. Another one coming from The Net. You have this at 4. I have it at 10. And I think if I redid it, I would put this higher than The Other Guy. But I didn't know this one. I didn't recognize it over The Other Guy, so I didn't put it. But when I re-listened to it, I like it. So It's higher here because you ranked it higher than I had ranked the other guy. But it's we too, which to me doesn't sound grammatically correct. Me, hey, you did that? Hey, we too. I understand me too, not we too. And it's TOO. It's not we.
Right, yeah.
It's not the number two. It's we also.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that title's bad too. They're bad on titles.
It's incomplete.
Right. Anyways, but good song. So if you didn't know it, it's on our chart. Number 6, coming from Time Exposure. That's what TE means, Time Exposure. And this is my number 4, your number 8, Man on Your Mind. And hopefully that's a woman he's talking about.
Yeah, well, he's talking about his previous...
Yeah, he did say baby. Now,
you got a man on your mind.
I like that video, kind of. They're all dressed in
they're all
white.
dressed in white. They're walking way too close to each other. And this is the Man on Your Mind, isn't it? Later, one of their later hits.
Yes, 82,
So
1980,
when as close as they are, I'm like,
1982.
I thought they were getting irritated with Glenn, and
Yes.
he's that close to him. They're
I know.
probably thinking,
Well, they
let's
just
be
say,
quick, hurry up,
they're
let's
like,
get
at
the
least,
shot so we can.
at least have fun in the video, then he can leave. But yeah, that it's a fun video though. They look like they're having fun, despite maybe they don't like it.
Right.
All right, but white tuxedos. I don't think I'd wear.
What's
a white
it reminded me of, was it Supertramp?
Yes,
They had that one video.
where
Where
he
they were
sings
dressed
in the falsetto.
Yeah, where they were
Yes.
dressed up though.
Right. Yeah, that was the other band. So they are similar to Crosby, Stills and Nash and Supertramp. All right, number 5, also coming from Time Exposure. Your number 3, my number 7, and not sung by Glenn Shirok or John Farnham. I forget what the guy's name is. I might think of it later, but it's the Night Owls. Oh no, I'm not even going to try the lyrics because I'm going to blend it with another song.
Yeah, no, this one, I like this song.
Yes.
This
For being from neither of those singers,
is,
this
I
was a
didn't
pretty
know
good-
this song. Did you recall?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
remember
well, that's
that.
how good it is. It's one.
But it made the top 10 when it was
Yeah,
out.
it's one of those rare ones where we didn't remember it, but it's just so good you got to put it on the list.
Yes. So, and I think doesn't Laurel and Hardy have a little short
Called the Night Owls. I don't know.
I think it's where they're cops.
The only one the only one that's worth watching really is
No,
Laughing Creek.
that's not true.
You know they got lots.
The Night Owls are pretty good. I think they're cops, and they think they see a burglar, and they go into the house, and they end up looking like the burglars.
Okay.
Okay, number 4, coming from First Under the Wire. What does that mean? Is that like an escape plan? There's a wire. I'll hold it. You guys get under. Anyways, my number 2, your number 7, Lonesome Loser. And most losers probably are lonesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not just a loser. You're lonely.
Yeah.
That's an insult to injury.
Now he's beaten by the Queen of Hearts every time.
Yes. So it
Maybe
sounds
they
like
get maybe they get Juice Newton.
Yeah.
Because they have their song is
right.
Play with
And
the Queen
so
of
there-
Hearts.
it does sound like he's talking about somebody who gambles.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. But Lonesome Loser, I like that it starts out a cappella, right? No music. But yeah. So that's my number 2. I just even after the music starts, it gets good. All right. So number 3, coming from Sleepcatcher, not Dreamcatcher, which by the way is a Stephen King book.
Yeah, well, movie too.
Movie sucked.
Yeah.
The movie was bad.
Yeah.
But it's Sleepcatcher. Have you ever caught anybody sleeping? I have. At work. I was told to mind my own business. We actually caught my son this morning.
Yeah, sleeping in church.
church.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And the message wasn't, boring, but it was long, and he's like,
Right. You can catch him sleeping in a car, like Vacation.
yes.
When the camera's going around and it
all
shows
4 of them.
off, and then it goes to Jeffy, and he's also sleeping. He's the one driving.
Anyways, nobody caught him though.
Oh yeah.
Sleep just because you're sleeping doesn't. Somebody has to catch you. Finally woke up. He goes, "We're
We're here
here."
because they were in a parking lot of a hotel. That's why.
All right, lady was my number 3. Your number 5,
Right.
and yeah,
And we've had other good lady songs.
now
Styx
yes, Styx.
and Kenny Rogers.
Well, we haven't
we
had
haven't-
Kenny Rogers yet. Styx did not
Are we
make our
going
top
to do
10.
Kenny Rogers?
Eventually, well, we can't do him because if he dies, because he's already dead.
Right. Yeah, I know that.
But yeah, he's had quite a bit.
Yeah,
It's
I
in
went
the
through
80s.
his list. He's got more than I thought. Lucille, I forgot about Lucille.
And he definitely has movies. We how many times did we watch Six Pack?
Yeah, I tried to watch The Gambler a few months back. I got a half hour into it. That's it's not as good as I remember.
Back to the Little River Man. Yeah, Lady is the song we're talking about, and it's I like it. The fact that he plays piano.
Yeah.
He doesn't play any other instruments
Right.
because when he's standing,
Yeah,
he's only got the microphone,
Right.
but he sat down at the piano. And I like how it gets stronger when he goes, "Lady."
Yeah, and everybody else comes in.
Yes. All
I
right.
like the piano, but it's probably not the piano. He's do do dee dee
Yeah.
do dee
Look
dee.
around, and by the way, they're not even talking about somebody they know.
Right.
Some lady
But
danced
lady,
in front of everybody. and-
Let me take a look at you now. If he doesn't know her, he's stalking.
And yet another stalker in our list of artists. Yes. All right, that was number 3. Number 2, also coming from Sleep Catcher. That would catch when somebody is sleeping. You say, "Gotcha!" You're not supposed to wake people up when they're sleeping.
Right, yeah.
Sleepwalking.
Or if you're sleepwalking, you're not supposed to wake
don't
him
wake them up. Okay.
up. Let him walk into traffic.
Right. Anyways, Reminiscing is our number 2, coming from the same album. Your number 2 song, my number 6. I don't, it's too relaxed to me. Yeah. I actually like the video though. The video
Yeah.
was a cool video. He's in
Yeah.
a hotel and he pets a cat.
When they get to the end and it starts doing a solo. It's a flugelhorn. I looked up
Really?
the personnel because there's a horn.
Okay.
There's a horn solo.
Yeah, you know what? You just reminded me that our number 10 song, "You're Driving Me Out of My Mind."
Okay.
There's a whole horn section and a saxophone solo, but if you watch the video, it's 4 guitars and the drummer and the singer, and that's it. I'm like, where's the horns at?
Yeah.
You hear the horn, but no horn section.
Really? Does anybody use that word anymore?
Reminiscing.
Hey, come on over and we can reminisce.
Yeah. Hopefully, if you're talking to a buddy of you, if you're
Yeah.
a guy and you're talking to another guy, that word should never come
Yeah,
up.
okay. Yeah, it'd have to be between a guy and a gal. Yeah,
Yes, that's what I would say. Okay. But anyways, you had this as your number 2, your favorite Little River Band song. Not mine. But their highest charted song. You're saying, well, what's their number 1? It's the solo song that we already talked about. It was in my decade, top 10 list of that year. So obviously that's my number 1. But it's also your number 1. It's very catchy. And who can beat a bagpipe solo? Coming from Whispering Jack. Again, John Kennedy, you supposedly can call John's Jack.
Yeah.
Is that why he calls it Whispering Jack?
Yeah, and I've seen that there's a guy I watched on YouTube that his name is John, and he called his thing Jack's, whatever it was.
Okay, so he whispers. John Farnham whispers a lot.
Okay.
He's
Kangaroo Jack, was that a John?
okay, but both of us put this
Maybe.
out.
What are little kangaroos called Johns?
I forget. What
Maybe.
they're
Maybe, I don't know.
called. Sure, why not? We'll go with that. Spread disinformation. Right now. Anyways, that's our number 1 song because that's the one we remember from the 80s.
You're the voice.
Yes,
Who is the voice?
we are.
No, I'm just saying.
Like, did he have an
There
extra
are
person?
no,
in-
there are a lot of people that say they're the voice. Okay, like I think Steve Perry is up there, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston was called the voice. Which
Okay, Mariah Carey.
Yes.
Everybody has a voice. Well, not everybody. I guess
But
they're
today everybody has a voice, and the voice that's the loudest is not the one you listen to, because normally they're the psychopath.
I like narrators. Who's the voice? Is it
Well-
James Earl Jones?
Well, on
Morgan Freeman?
on the Dukes of Hazzard, it was Waylon Jennings, and we never saw his face.
And yeah, okay. The Goldbergs, it's Patton Oswalt. A lot of voices.
Who do any of them whisper?
Huh?
Do any of them whisper?
No.
Okay. Anyways, we're getting off track. Obviously, we had a short video just extended to a long one. Anyways, our next group is going to be similar in that they have a lot of 70s hits and continued into the 80s, even past the 90s. Nothing like Little River Band.
Yeah.
And had we put them in front of the Little River Band, we would have been having the alphabet counted.
Yeah, they, our earliest memory of them would be in a movie.
On TV.
Yep.
So,
Oh, we probably, do you remember the cards? We collected the cards.
yeah, they had.
And when you turn the cards over, put them all together, there was
That's
one
true.
of the band
That's
members.
true. Just like baseball cards, there was a
Yes.
band that had cards and gum. Okay, so I'm guessing from that you lived in the '80s for sure. So that's a group, and the only instrument that I ever remember switching constantly was the drummer.
Yeah.
So it's not Spinal Tap.
And
See
didn't
that?
Prince sing about them? I think Prince.
Yes, he probably did. All right, so that's our next band. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.